My problem with this whole entire case is that they've been lying every step of the way. That I have evidence that showed this is a car accident. I mean, if I were to open the body cam and see that this witness is telling me that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic, I would shut down this podcast, I would shut down this channel, and I would shut the fuck up and stop talking about this case. But instead, what I see is a body cam that exonerates Mustafa. A prosecutor that's lying about Mustafa. Officers that completely falsified a whole entire case. This is a car accident.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation.
The prosecutor in court tells Judge Carol Weimer that she has no idea what the officers are doing on the scene, has no idea. She didn't communicate with the officers. That she has no idea what these officers are doing when they weaponize the children, when they crushed and staged the vehicle. She says she doesn't know. She has no idea. Well, when I go through the body cams, I'm seeing those officers are updating you every step of the way. So what communication took place when you found out that Mustafa's vehicle had brake failure? What communication took place between you and Investigator Romero when the children were being weaponized?
To get this out of the way. So okay. Did you do anything inappropriate to it?
I have a body cam where they're updating Sarah Sammy.
The other thing too that I
think this is it. This should be the body cam where they update Sarah Sammy on what is going on while they're inspecting Mustafa's vehicle. While the police are inspecting Mustafa's vehicle.
Before we leave, let's call Sarah and tell her what we did and make sure before we put anything back, or actually, can you call her now? That way you can tell her what we've done.
So they're updating the prosecutor Sarah Sammy, every step of the way. Now, forget the body cams. We have multiple body cams where she's being updated. I have the whole entire discovery. We're going to go through that discovery, page by page, identify every point that she's being updated. And what you see is disturbing. This prosecutor is being updated every step of the way. And she wants to tell Judge Carol Weimer that she was never updated what her police officers are doing, that she has no idea. This prosecutor is being updated every step of the way. And the fact that we have the body cams and the discovery, this is a nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin. You're not going to leave it to the discretion of the prosecutor to identify which body cams is missing. A prosecutor that's been lying about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. Because she's been lying about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Evidence show that not only does she know, but she's instructing officers on how to falsify the Mustafa Al-Jazari case and remove and manipulate evidence. And in the process, weaponized the children. A 9, a 10, a 14. Weaponized children against Mustafa. Children that loved Mustafa. Children that needed Mustafa in their most vulnerable state. We have Google Nest video that showed the children loved Mustafa. They needed Mustafa. But instead, you have Investigator Romero, with the help of Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, weaponizing the children against Mustafa. Is this not child abuse? That's child abuse. You're abusing a 9, a 10, a 14. Whatever it takes, you have to get Mustafa. Clear bias in this entire case that's steering the investigation away from what actually took place. This is a vehicle accident. Every detail showed that this is a vehicle accident. Because of the bias, Evidence is being manipulated. Statements are being falsified. Children are abused. Vehicle crushed and staged. A complete bias in this whole entire case. Mustafa's defense is entitled to the prosecutor communication so we can get to the bottom of what took place in this case. Now, when you go into Exhibit 4, the prosecutor wants to tell you that I have witnesses that will say that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. Well, why is it that when I go through the body cam, Exhibit 4, I'm watching none of these witnesses that's there, they all say we didn't see anything. But you have a prosecutor that says, my witnesses say that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. You can't verify what the prosecutor says because the case is sealed. Well, now it's not sealed. Now we have the body cam. We're going to go one body cam at a time, one section at a time. And we're going to go through and see what these witnesses are saying. And then we get to those two witnesses that actually say Mustafa cleared the SUV. Another witness said, I heard Mustafa hit the brake. I heard his brake skids. All right, so let's go through the first section where the first witness tell the officer, I didn't see anything. Now, what you see through these body cams is Officer Casey Fines in the background. Of course, Officer Casey Fines put a label on Mustafa, and he says that Mustafa is on drugs. As soon as he gets on scene, as soon as the main investigator is on scene, he's telling the main investigator that Mustafa is on drugs. Immediately puts a label on Mustafa. Mustafa's toxicology show no drugs, no alcohol. This is Mustafa's toxicology. That's Mustafa's toxicology. Blood alcohol non-detected, no alcohol in his system. You go over THC 0.00003. And this is the foundation of the whole entire case. They want to tell you that Mustafa is arguing inside the vehicle with his girlfriend. Well, that's interesting. When you open the dash camera, and we have the dash camera, you see that Mustafa and his girlfriend are passing back and forth a cigarette 6 times. Not once, not twice, 6 times. His girlfriend has cancer. And because of her cancer, she smokes hemp. Hemp doesn't have THC, doesn't make you high, doesn't have drugs. The toxicology report show that what they're smoking inside the vehicle is hemp. There's no THC, 0.0003. The foundation of the case is the fact that they're passing back and forth a cigarette, a hemp cigarette. Now, the prosecutor hides the dash camera and tells this community that Mustafa is arguing with his girlfriend. You have investigator Robert Drum falsify Mustafa's statements. You have investigator Chad Mason, who already admitted to cutting and muting the dash camera. And now they're still terrified from this dash camera because even with the cut audio, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. How could they be arguing if they're passing back and forth a cigarette? And the way Dorothy feels Mustafa's finger as she takes a cigarette, it shows how much she loves him. We're going to go into the dash camera in detail. And show why this Commonwealth attorney is so terrified. I mean, 2.5 years since she hasn't released a dash camera. And now her officer is talking about cutting and muting the dash camera. You have evidence that the other officer, Robert Drum, falsified Mustafa's statements. Well, no wonder they're terrified from this dash camera, because on dash camera, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. So you have a toxicology that show no alcohol and no drugs. We go back to what Officer Casey Fine is telling the main investigator. As soon as the main investigator gets on the scene, he puts a label on Mustafa. he tells him that Mustafa's on drugs and steers the whole investigation into the main investigator, Robert Drum, says, wherever the fuck Mustafa goes, I want a blood draw. And he condemns Mustafa is at fault. They haven't investigated the scene. They haven't looked at the computer inside the car. They haven't looked at the dash camera. They haven't even got the Mustafa's toxicology. They condemned Mustafa guilty as soon as they got on the scene because Officer Casey Fines put a label on Mustafa. Is that not a bias? Absolutely, that's a bias. I mean, you ask yourself, why is this case sealed? It's sealed because when you watch these body cam, you see what they're doing. They're falsifying a whole entire case. I mean, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy wants to tell us her witnesses will say that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. Well, let's see and hear from the first witness.
I got you. The one that called it in. You got probably a pretty obvious DOA in the Chrysler. Okay. 26-year-old female. Looks like a 5-year-old girl. She might be not doing good. Did you see the crash occur? No, I think I believe it. Okay. Well, SUV.
I didn't see the crash occur. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, this witness says, I didn't see the crash occur. So what are you doing telling the judge in court that your witnesses saw that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic? All right. So that's witness one. Let's continue watching.
Whoa. Did any of y'all see the crash?
I just heard it. I just heard it. Black clear.
Hold on. I got you. No one over here saw it. Okay. Thank you.
No one over here saw the accident. Sarah. Oh, you're comfortable because the case is sealed. No one is going to see the body cam. Well, ma'am, I've reached all the way through your asshole, got into the server of the police department, evidence.com, got this file, and now I'm releasing it all over the internet, and it fucking stinks. Clearly showed that you've lied in this case. You're telling the judge what exactly? Your witnesses are saying that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. So we just watched 2 body cam, and none of these witnesses are talking about seeing Mustafa drive into oncoming traffic. Let's continue watching.
Yeah.
This is the SUV driver, and right next to her is a bystander. What I find really weird is the bystander is also a nurse. The SUV driver is a nurse. The bystander is a nurse. There's another nurse on the scene. A whole bunch of nurses on the scene, and I can't make sense of it. Maybe you can help me make sense of it. I mean, this lady is pretending that she doesn't know the SUV driver, but clearly when you watch the body cam, clearly there's a relationship between her and the SUV driver. She's pretending that she's a bystander, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's not what it looks like. Are we not entitled into the SUV? Is Mustafa's defense not entitled into the SUV's communication at the scene when the scene happened? Absolutely. What did the SUV driver say? Who did she call? What did she text? And what communication took place? I mean, that's exculpatory evidence. Especially when the witness is talking about that Mustafa cleared the SUV and the SUV, this driver, turned into Mustafa. And what you see is that she's a PLS patient, identified by a paramedic, that she's a PLS patient, that she was on heavy medication that day. She's not supposed to be on the road. And PLS patient, for those that don't know what condition is a PLS, you have weak extremities, upper, lower. And I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm saying that she reacted and turned into the 4th lane. She contributed to the accident. Absolutely, she contributed to the accident. Mustafa cleared the SUV and she turned into Mustafa. Never hit the brake. She was speeding. The computer in her vehicle showed she never applied the brake. She never hit the brake and she was speeding. Did she not contribute to the accident? Hello? Absolutely.
It does. I know. Are you all? Yeah, it does. I know. Are you all okay?
She is the driver for this one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, have
She's
medics come to talk to you?
Not yet.
Okay.
She is trying to call her husband and her mom.
Okay.
But nobody's coming to talk to her.
Okay, just sit tight. We got to take care of what we got going on over there, and we'll come and make sure she's okay. Were you involved in the crash?
No, my truck. We heard it from
Okay, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it. I just heard it.
Another witness that say they did not see it. Sarah, do you still want to tell the judge that your witnesses saw Mustafa go into oncoming traffic?
Okay. Ma'am, are you okay? What hurts? Yeah.
They had to pull me out of the airbags.
Was she walking?
I was locked in that car.
She's walking?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give her a minute to calm down, and I'll come over and talk to her. If you don't mind hanging out with her, that'd be awesome.
Here you'll see this officer walk up to a white vehicle. And let's hear if this witness saw that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic, because the prosecutor in court is telling us that she has witnesses. The witnesses on scene are saying that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. Let's hear what this witness has to say.
Turned down towards the jump race. What's the prosecutor that crash?
Ma'am, were you involved in the crash?
I was not. I'm just upset seeing that piece.
Okay.
I saw the SUV go airborne, and I saw that go flying. I didn't see how it happened.
Okay.
I didn't see how it happened. I didn't see the accident. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells the judge that I have witnesses that saw Mustafa drive into oncoming traffic. This is what now? The fourth, fifth witness that didn't see the accident? How convenient. This prosecutor wants to lie to the judge. By the way, 2.5 years in solitary confinement. Every time there's a bond motion, the prosecutor repeats what she's talking about. I have witnesses, Your Honor, that saw Mustafa drive into oncoming traffic, and you can't verify none of it. But today we can. We hear her voice in court, and we actually get to watch the body cam. And we're walking up on the witness that actually did see what happened. And he tells us Mustafa cleared the SUV, made it all the way to the fourth lane, and the SUV slammed into him, turned into Mustafa. How do you charge this guy with murder? His foot is on the brake the whole entire time. He clears all the vehicle, makes it to the fourth lane. The SUV turns into him. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that he avoided the vehicle accident? Oh, you sealed off the case, and now you get to say whatever you want. Your officers are falsifying the case for you. You get to lie in court. The case is sealed. Who's going to verify any of it?
I'm a grandma and a mom, and I saw that go flying. I didn't see how it happened.
Okay.
I'm a grandma and a mom.
I got you. Listen, just who are you talking to on the phone?
I'm trying to call my husband.
Okay.
On the golf course.
Okay. If you need to step away or look away, just do that, okay? Are you willing to give me a statement of what happened or what you saw?
I am, yeah, but I just saw.
And then you have Officer Casey Fine, and you'll see him in the background. We're going to keep going through those body cam. You have Officer Casey Fine in the background making contact. He has his body cam muted, making contact with each witness. He's on a mission. And this officer and other officer know as soon as they see him, they're going to mute. They're going to mute their body cam. He's on a mission. What mission is Casey Fine on? What mission is Officer Casey Fine on? Oh, wait a minute. So he tells and labels Mustafa as being on drugs. He tells the main investigator. And if he's telling the main investigator that Mustafa is on drugs, you don't think he's going to this lady who already we see very emotional after being at the scene is telling her, it's up to you. A mother and a daughter just lost their life because of Mustafa. Mustafa is on drugs. You don't think Officer Casey Fine is telling her that? And what do you think is going to happen to her statement? Is she going to change her statement? Because you have a police officer with a badge and uniform telling her it's up to you. You can get this guy. You can get justice. That's not coercion. That's not coercion. That's not coercing the witness. Absolutely. Absolutely. She just told you she didn't see what happened. And Prosecutor Sammy is hoping that she's going to bring these people in. The case is sealed. No one can verify that they initially said we didn't see anything. That they're going to tell these people, we need you to get this guy off the street. I mean, you have Officer Casey Fine telling the main investigator Mustafa is on drugs. Absolutely, he's telling this lady the same thing. And that's why you have their statement change. Their statement is changing. But if it wasn't for us having these body cams, we can't verify that these individuals didn't see anything.
The SUV go airborne this way, and that car go that, but I didn't see him hit. I don't know how it happened.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Just stay in your car for me for now, and we'll come and talk to you.
This body cam, you have this officer walk up to a blue vehicle and he asks the blue vehicle, did you see anything? Let's see if they say that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic, that she has witnesses that will testify to Mustafa driving into oncoming traffic. Let's hear the witness in the blue car if they're going to tell us that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. I mean, going throughout this whole entire case, my problem with this whole entire case is that they've been lying every step of the way. That I have evidence that showed this is a car accident. I mean, if I were to open the body cam and see that this witness is telling me that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic, I would shut down this podcast, I would shut down this channel, and I would shut the fuck up and stop talking about this case. But instead, what I see is a body cam that exonerates Mustafa. A prosecutor that's lying about Mustafa. Officers that completely falsified a whole entire case. This is a car accident. Let's watch what the witness in the blue vehicle tell us. Let's see if he tells us that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic like Prosecutor Sarah Sammy says.
Did you happen to see what happened with the crash?
Virginia, uniform.
Okay. Okay. Did you happen to see what happened with the crash?
I did not see what happened. Prosecutor. Witness in the blue vehicle says, I did not see what happened. Let's watch another body cam where this officer walked
Did you see it?
On another vehicle.
Did you see the crash between us?
In a black vehicle. And let's see if this witness tells us that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. Let's see if he tells us what the prosecutor is telling us.
I looked down for a second because my son was over here, but then I heard the crash. So
okay, but you didn't actually see what occurred.
I didn't see the actual crash. So.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I didn't see what happened. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, the witnesses are not corroborating your story. Oh, you're comfortable? You were comfortable that the case is sealed. Well, now it's not sealed anymore. Where is Jason Myers? Still worried about having us elect him as the next Attorney General. How could we elect you when you have a case right in front of you on your desk? By the way, all these body cams are on Jason Myers' desk. He can't hide behind that the case is sealed. It's not sealed anymore. I mean, it's not sealed when when my hand is literally up the prosecutor asshole, literally taking files out of the police department server. And these files stink. They absolutely stink. Police misconduct, officer falsify this case, manipulate and weaponize the children. I have another file where the police murdered a black girl, Tatiana David. Where is Jason Myers? Let's continue watching the rest of the clips. Let's see if another witness, this officer is going to walk up on. Let's see. He's going to walk up on a number of bystanders, and let's see if they say they saw the accident. Let's see if they corroborate the prosecutor story that her witnesses will testified to Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic.
How you all doing? Did you all see what happened with the crash? Any of you?
This officer over here is talking to the two that saw
They
it.
actually saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hailed the driver. I don't know if the driver of his car.
Yeah.
I hailed the put on the floor, you know. He's
Okay.
good. He's good now.
Okay. All right.
What I found really interesting, so in this clip, the individual with a pink shirt says, "I didn't see what happened." In another body cam, after he talks to Casey Fines, after this officer talks to Officer Casey Fines, he mutes immediately. He goes back and talks to this individual, and he tells him, "Can you give me whatever statements, even if you didn't see anything? Even if you didn't see anything, I need a statement from you." What do you mean? What are you talking about? Officer Casey Fine is in the background. He's on a mission. He's making contact with every single person on the scene. All those bystanders, he's making contact with them. And he's telling them, it's up to you, not me as the police officer. It's up to you to get this monster off the street. A mother and her daughter died. Mustafa's on drugs. We need you to write your statement that he drove into oncoming traffic. He's coercing the bystanders. He's coercing the witnesses. He's putting pressure on the witnesses and steering the investigation. I mean, you're telling them that Mustafa did this on purpose. Mustafa's toxicology report showed no alcohol, no drugs, but yet you have an investigator that's lying to bystanders about Mustafa, and you tell me that he didn't. He's not doing that. You see through the body cam, his body cam is muted. You see that officers are muting as soon as they make contact with him. You see Officer Casey Fine is telling investigator Robert Drum, as soon as he got on scene, he told him Mustafa's on drugs. And if he told investigator Drum that Mustafa's on drugs, he's telling the witnesses the same thing. So we just heard the individual with the pink shirt. We just heard the individual with the pink shirt say, "I didn't see anything."
Hey, do you mind right now what you saw, even if it was minimal?
As far as
Just real quick. As far as the crash.
I give it to.
Did you already do one?
Do you mind writing anything, even if it's minimal? Do you mind giving me anything? Just write whatever to get this guy off the street. Give me whatever to get this monster off the street. You heard what Officer Casey Fine told you. He's on drugs. Can you give me whatever? Write me whatever on the statement. He's like, "I didn't see anything." Just give me whatever you want. Just write me something that can say that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. I didn't see anything. You're coercing the witnesses on the scene. You're manipulating the scene.
Okay. I'm going to make sure I get to talk to her. I thought, but I want to make sure. I think someone already talked to you all, but did you all see what happened with the crash?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm right here. I was right behind
Okay.
it. So literally.
Are you all willing to write out what happened if I give you all a form? Okay.
This is the witness at 18 on the body cam exhibit 4. Witness at 1850. This is the witness that says, "I saw what happened. Mustafa cleared the SUV, made it to the 4th lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa." Why is this prosecutor admitting this out of the court? So the body cam is sealed. It's nowhere in the police reports because Officer Casey Fine already talked to this individual. So whatever he told the officer initially, he didn't write it. Because he's being told that a mother and her baby lost their life because of Mustafa. He's being told that Mustafa is on drugs. It's up to him, not the police officer. It's up to him to get Mustafa off the street, to get justice for this mother and her baby. That Mustafa is on drugs. That's what Officer Casey Fine is telling him. That's why the statement doesn't show what he says here.
Get it straight. So the Chrysler is coming towards us. Not in the turn lane. He's in the straight lane.
Yeah.
You have the green light. Was she in this lane?
She was in this lane. I was
so she was going straight.
Yeah.
And then he goes to make a U-turn.
I don't know what he was doing because he wasn't even in the turn lane. He just jumped.
Was he coming straight?
Is it maybe that he has brake failure? What did we watch earlier? On a body cam, this body cam show that Mustafa had brake failure. The other witness said, I heard brake skids. Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. Mustafa's foot, the computer inside Mustafa's vehicle, showed that Mustafa's foot was on the brake the whole entire time. This body cam showed that the police inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure. Let's go back to the body cam really quick with the brake failure, and then we'll go back into this witness statement where he says Mustafa cleared the SUV into the fourth lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa.
Brake didn't engage.
Brake did not engage. There's a brake failure. Let's go back into the witness statement.
Can I get a phone number for you, sir?
Yeah, it's 571-389-4540.
I'll let you work on that. Can I talk to you for a quick second over here? Can you just tell me what you saw?
Yeah, so the Chrysler over there was coming this way.
Which way? Sorry.
Coming this direction. We were going this direction. We had the green light. This car was in front of me. And I saw the Chrysler just randomly. He wasn't even in the turn lane. He just darted over directly in front of this car.
Okay.
And so she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side. So she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side.
He made it far enough over. He made it far enough over into the fourth lane. She slammed into him. Mustafa sits in solitary confinement for the past 2.5 years. And you have a witness that's testifying to that he saw Mustafa clear the SUV. So wait a minute. How is this murder? If his foot is on the brake the whole entire time. His foot is on the brake the whole entire time. He clears the SUV. What is this witness telling us? He clears the SUV. And the SUV turns into Mustafa. Oh, there's brake failure in the vehicle. Oh, this witness statement is no, you can't find it in any of the reports? Oh, Casey Fine talked to this individual to not write what he told the police initially. Interesting. Let's keep watching.
They're advising that they're going to respond to a crash. What kind of equipment is it?
Oh, there we go. Casey Fines. I mean, take a look at Casey Fines and the relation that he has and he's built with the bystanders. Take a hard look at Casey Fines. And then we're going to hear what Casey Fines is telling the main investigator. And you want to tell me that Casey Fine is not telling the individuals at the scene the same thing he's telling the main investigator? If he's telling the main investigator that Mustafa's on drugs, absolutely he's telling the bystanders that Mustafa is on drugs. That a mother and a baby died And it's up to you to get him off the street. It's up to you to get justice. This guy that sits in a coma and in a coma in front of his vehicle was on drugs. Don't feel bad for him. You see him on the floor in front of his vehicle in a coma. Don't feel bad for him. He's on drugs. A mother and a baby died. That's what Officer Casey Fines is doing. Let's watch the body cam. Take a hard look at the interaction and tell me that he's not telling these witnesses that Mustafa's on drugs. Even though the toxicology showed no alcohol and no drugs. This investigator is lying about Mustafa.
We get it. Here you go. Here's the form.
Everything you saw, okay?
Sure.
Be as detailed as possible.
I'm seeing right now.
I got a pen and I got a
tow trailer
one, okay?
and 4520 maybe.
We're gonna watch this one more time.
We get it. Here you go. Here's the form.
Everything you saw, okay?
Sure.
Be as detailed as possible.
I'm seeing right now.
I got a pen and I got a
tow trailer
one, okay?
and 4520 maybe a little bit.
Hey, Fines.
What's with the sarcastic look, Casey Fines? Officer Casey Fines, what's with the sarcastic look when you say details? Be as detailed as possible. He looks at her a certain way. She looks at him a certain way. And it sure looks like you got her on board. That it's up to her to get justice. You're telling her, you're putting a label on Mustafa that he's on drugs. Don't feel bad that Mustafa is laying in front of his vehicle in a coma.
Hey, do you mind right now?
Let's go to...
We're gonna talk to our thought, but I want to make sure.
That's Mustafa. That's Mustafa. This body cam is Mustafa in and out of consciousness, laying on the floor in front of his vehicle. And at one point, he goes into a complete coma. And he gets helicoptered to the hospital. So, Mustafa gets in a vehicle accident. He loses his family in a vehicle accident. He's in front of his vehicle on the floor. And in the background, you have Officer Casey Fine telling the main investigator that he's on drugs, even though his toxicology show that he's not on drugs. You have Officer Casey Fine manipulate the witnesses, lying to them against Mustafa, telling them that it's up to them to get justice. This guy is on drugs. That right there is Mustafa.
What do you need, Fines?
Pretty much just...
Right there is Mustafa on the floor in front of his vehicle, in and out of consciousness, and then goes into a coma while Officer Casey Fine is taking advantage of the vehicle accident.
Crash.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to get a...
Someone was talking to the lady in the black shirt, right? Everyone's saying she saw what happened.
Yeah.
So
what is Officer Casey Fine looking for? The lady with the black shirt. The lady we just saw. This lady.
Did you see it? We get it.
This lady, where he sarcastically tells her, I need you to write down every detail. Sarcastically talk about details. Let's listen.
Here you go. Here's the form.
Everything you saw, okay?
Sure.
Be as detailed as possible.
I'm seeing right now.
I got a pen and I got a
tow trailer.
one, okay?
We get it. Here you go. Here's the form.
Everything you saw, okay?
Sure.
Be as detailed as possible.
I'm seeing right now.
I got a pen and I got a
tow trailer
one, okay?
and 4520 maybe a little bit.
He's on a mission. Now she's on a mission. Be as detailed as possible. Interesting.
No, I have no idea. I did not get it yet.
Casey Fines here is looking for the SUV driver. Casey Fines is on a mission. You'll see her make contact. He's making contact with everybody. All while his body cam is muted. And every officer, you'll see that as soon as they make contact with him, they'll mute their body cam. They're having conversations. By the way, it's illegal for those officers to mute their body cams, to omit these details out of the investigation.
She was hysterical when I was trying to talk to her. No, I have no idea. I did not get it yet. She was hysterical when I was trying to talk to her. Yeah, it might be Josie. I think it might be Surdom. Surdom was talking to her. I do not know where he is. I think
Surdom was talking to the SUV driver. How come we don't have a statement from the SUV driver? The statement from the SUV driver is missing. There is no statement. But we have a body cam.
Might be down there. You need it like right now?
Rescue just wants her ID right now. I'm not sure about that.
You'll see this officer, as soon as he goes to Robert Drum and other officers, he'll mute his body cam. It's illegal for this officer and other officer to mute their body cams. It's illegal, but they're doing it. So he goes and mutes his body cam. And at one point, this officer is coordinating it with Casey Fines, Officer Casey Fines. Every time he sees him, he begins muting. He knows what Officer Casey Fines is doing. Their job is Officer Casey Fines is to go and talk to the witnesses, gives them a statement, and then another officer will take their statement. But he already told them and weaponized them against Mustafa. The same thing that he's telling the investigator, Robert Drum, that Mustafa is on drugs, he's telling the bystanders the same thing. You're going to see they're going to walk up on the main investigator, Robert Drum, and immediately Robert Drum is heard to say, I need a blood draw on Mustafa. I have another body cam on why he says I need a blood draw on Mustafa. And the reason he said I need a blood draw on Mustafa because Officer Casey Fine, as soon as he got on scene, as soon as Robert Drum got on scene, Officer Casey Fine tells Robert Drum that Mustafa is on drugs, immediately inserting a bias and steering the investigation into that Mustafa is a fool.
I don't know. One of them.
The way they mute. It's illegal to here they're doing it. Prosecutor Semi tells Judge Carol Weimer, Your Honor, this is because of a buffer. When the officer gets on scene, immediately as they get on scene, there's a minute of a buffer. Judge Carol Weimer used to be a Prince William County police officer. So he tells her, are you telling me that this body cam, and he's laughing at her, by the way. He's angry. He tells her, are you telling me that these body cams have a brain of their own to know when to mute and not mute? Because the defense attorney, Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood, is telling the judge, Your Honor, they're muting all throughout the whole investigation. And at one point, there are body cams that are muted without them muting. Would clearly show that the department, Internal Affairs, muted before those body cams are uploaded into the police department server, evidence.com. I have a edited, redacted body cams into the server. I need the original to see what bias took place in this investigation. So the prosecutor flat out lied to Judge Carol Weimer in court, telling him that there's a buffer a minute. Your officers are omitting key evidence out of this case because they're falsifying and tampering with witnesses. And the question is, are you notified every step of the way? I have evidence that you have been notified. And as a matter of fact, you're not just being notified, you're instructing these officers on what to do. So, Sarah, we need your communication. Mustafa's defense is entitled to the communication. And it's not up to you, ma'am. It's not even up to Judge Carol Weimer. This is a case out of the Supreme Court, Brady versus Maryland. Once you identify there's a bias, the defense is entitled to the communication of the prosecutor. Prosecutor's communication with the officers, prosecutor communication with the witnesses, because at this point, it's exculpatory evidence. It's going to get to the bottom of why we have witnesses tampered with, why we have Mustafa's statement falsified, why we have a dash camera cut and muted, why do we have a vehicle crushed and staged, why do we have children weaponized against Mustafa, in the process abused. A prosecutor that doesn't care about a 9, a 10, a 14, weaponized by the police.
What was it? Trial's still alive. All right, good.
This is investigator Robert Drum. The officer walks up to Robert Drum, and what you'll hear is Robert Drum is standing right next to Officer Casey Fine. And another body cam, we'll go over that body cam, where he's telling this investigator that Mustafa is on drugs, putting a label on Mustafa, starting and steering the investigation in where now it has a bias. They're condemning Mustafa guilty before they scanned the vehicle, before they reconstructed the car accident, before they looked at the dash camera, before they looked at the computer inside the vehicle, before they talked to Mustafa. They've condemned Mustafa guilty. As soon as they got on the scene, they condemned Mustafa guilty.
Alright, SUV. So apparently I think the kid's dead, the mom did not.
He said kid is still alive.
Okay. He's telling me that guy probably grew up with it. I need a blood draw and doctor. Did anybody see exactly what happened?
This lady right here, and
he's telling me that this guy is at fault. Robert Drum, the main investigator, says he's telling me who's he. Casey Fines. We're gonna go over the body cam. Casey Fines tells Robert Drum that Mustafa is at fault. Robert Drum says Casey Fine is telling me that Mustafa is at fault. I need a blood draw on Mustafa. Immediately condemned Mustafa guilty. Immediately. As soon as he got on scene, they condemned Mustafa guilty. And they ran with it. Does it have anything to do with Mustafa's $500,000 lawsuit? Oh, that's right. Mustafa was suing the police. $500,000. Mustafa was suing the police. That now he has a vehicle accident. Doesn't matter if this is a car accident anymore. They're taking advantage of the vehicle accident.
This gentleman right here, they're both making written statements.
You're going to hear this officer talk about the witness at 1850, timestamp 1850 in Exhibit 4. He's going to completely falsify the statement out of that witness. The witness at timestamp 1850 says Mustafa cleared the vehicle all the way into the fourth lane and the SUV turned into Mustafa. Let's hear what this officer is telling Drum, and then we'll go back to that statement and see if this officer falsified the witness statement.
Got all the info. This guy says that. Hold on 1 second.
This guy, the individual at timestamp 1850, the individual with the hat with the orange beard.
The Suburban is going eastbound in the straight lane. Chrysler is coming westbound in the straight lane and then just veers over into oncoming traffic and just hits her. He says he thinks the Chrysler was going about 50. They were going about 50, 55. Okay. Just head on.
That's interesting. That's not what he said. That's not what the individual said. The individual said Mustafa cleared the SUV into the fourth lane and the SUV turned into Mustafa. Now this officer is telling Robert Drum that this individual at 1850 said that Mustafa drove into oncoming traffic. What are we talking about? Let's go to that body cam really quick and verify it.
So I want to make sure I get this straight.
This car was in front of me, and I saw the Chrysler just randomly. He wasn't even in the turn lane. He just darted over directly in front of this car.
Okay.
And so she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side. So she slammed him. I guess he made it far enough over that it hit the right side.
He made it far enough over into the right side, into the fourth lane, and the SUV slammed into him, slammed into Mustafa, slammed into the fourth lane. But you have an officer that's telling Robert Drum.
Yep.
Something
Suburban is
completely different.
Going eastbound in the straight lane. Chrysler is coming westbound in the straight lane and then just veers over into oncoming traffic and just hits her. He says he thinks the Chrysler was going about 50. They were going about 50, 55. Okay. And just head on. 55.
Head on. It's a head-on collision. Interesting. Well, this prosecutor is in trouble. These police officers are in trouble. They sealed off the case so no one can verify what the individual at the scene are talking about. That they thought they were comfortable that they got Casey Fines manipulating and weaponizing the individuals at the scene against Mustafa. And what were they hoping? That they were going to walk these individuals? I mean, the prosecutor for 2.5 years says, I have witnesses that say Mustafa drove the vehicle into oncoming traffic. This officer is collaborating what the prosecutor says. But when you hear the witnesses themselves, this individual at 1850 says Mustafa cleared the SUV into the fourth lane. The SUV turned into Mustafa. The other witness with the green shirt says that she heard Mustafa brake skids. She heard Mustafa hit the brake. And everybody else, the rest of the witness, didn't see anything. So this prosecutor is flat out lying to the judge for 2.5 years. They have officers that are weaponizing witnesses. It's nowhere in the report. You only see on a body cam that's sealed. Why do you think they're so terrified that this file is going out to the internet? Because now the community is watching that they can't falsify this case. They can no longer falsify this case. There is transparency in what they've done. This is a body cam where, let's see if I can find it. Officer Casey Fines, as soon as investigator Robert Drum gets on the scene, you have Officer Casey Fine tell Robert Drum, let me see if I can find it. Tell Robert Drum that Mustafa is on drugs. See if I can find it. Your police crushed this vehicle. But this body cams are sealed, so you feel comfortable telling the judge that Mustafa had his passenger, front passenger, his girlfriend, crushed by the SUV. And now we're finding out that the police department crushed Dorsey's side. That Mustafa cleared the SUV. We're going to keep releasing these body cams. We're doing really good. We have a defense attorney that's fighting for Mustafa, Brad Haywood. Multiple motions have been approved and are moving forward. Brady violation have been approved by Judge Carol Weimer. We're going to get to the bottom of the communication. The judge denied the communication. Judge Carol Weimer, the community is watching you, sir. Yes, you approved the Brady violations. You have no choice but to approve them. I mean, we have body cams and documents that have been released that show that the children are weaponized against Mustafa. A 9, a 10, a 14. The vehicle has been crushed and staged by the police department. Mustafa's statements are falsified. Witnesses on the scene being tampered with by Casey Fines. A dash camera cut and muted. And now the police department is talking about the audio is there. They've been saying the audio is not there for 2.5 years. Judge Carol Weimer, you're the presiding judge, and you denied the communication to be released of the prosecutor. By the way, Mustafa's defense is entitled to the communication, Sarah Sammy's communication, especially when she's being updated every step of the way, especially when there is a bias in this case. There's a bias all over the case, the whole entire case. And this prosecutor is being notified every step of the way. Mustafa is entitled to this communication under the case Brady versus Maryland, a case out of the Supreme Court. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, we're going to get your communication. And that's a promise. Mustafa's defense will get your communication. You tell Judge Carol Weimer it's dangerous. And the reason you're telling him it's dangerous because it's going to show that not only that you've been notified of what these officers are doing, no, you're instructing these officers on how to go about falsifying this case. That's why you tell him it's dangerous. It's dangerous because if it gets released to the defense, you're going to jail. And I'll promise you, your communication will be released. Now, what we've done today is we talked about Exhibit 4. We're going to be working our way through this file, and we're doing really good. One of the videos went up to 70,000 views. Every video is hitting just about 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 and up. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, this case is going viral, ma'am. You've been falsifying this case for 2.5 years. This community is watching. Specifically, Judge Carol Weimer, they're watching you be the presiding judge over the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, ask questions, tell me what you want me to talk about on the next podcast. If you have questions, we're going to try to answer them. And support the podcast through the Cash App. Make sure you share the podcast. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a... If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a